Hey everybody, it's Michelle. Can y'all hear me? Hope y'all can hear me because last time y'all couldn't hear me. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Can you let me know in the comments if y'all can hear me? Hey everyone. You guys can hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. Hi Lizzie. Hi everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm always paranoid because last time I did a live, I literally sat here and talked for 15 minutes and I didn't realize I was muted. Hi everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys. I missed you guys. And it's been a week. It's been a very tough week. But I wanted to say thank y'all so much for being very sweet and supportive to me and my family. Hi, Kins. Thanks for joining. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Dizfan. Of course, the amazing Lizzie is here to help moderate. I appreciate y'all. Hi, Serena. Hi, Laura. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Lily of the Valley. So good of y'all to join. Yeah, I'm actually working on a video that I'm probably going to release at some point tonight. It's a little behind talking about the podcast and all the stuff that's been going on with Harry and Meghan. There's just plenty of stuff going on there. But how are y'all doing for Sunday? Hello, Laura. Good afternoon to you. Yes, we're doing well. So my birthday was on April 10th. And so my mom came down and we went shopping and I was thoroughly spoiled and I got some really nice antiques from my mom and I'll share some of those photos with y'all. But yeah, it was really nice to spend some time with my mom. Sometimes we really need that. And it was really healthy for me to do that. So, yes, I'm going to show you some little goodies that I got from my mom. I'm trying to figure out how to upload these stuff right now. Hi Teaspoon. Hi Debbie. Trying to get these pictures uploaded here. Oh, yeah, we had a really good time shopping. My mom is an amazing lady. So let's see if we could. There's the clock that I got for my birthday. We went antiquing, and it was really nice to spend some time with my mom. And we got this little treasure for my living room. So I was really excited to receive that. Spend as much time as you can with your mom. Yes, it is very true. Hi, Tisha. I'm glad you could make the live. I didn't really put a huge notice. I just kind of decided to do it now. Thank you, Carrie, for the birthday wishes. When you get older, it's not really about gifts. It's about the quality time, that you spend with your family. And so after losing my dad, I knew it was really important to spend some quality time with my mom. And she's amazing. She's German and she's just an amazing lady. She helped me out a lot around my house, helped me get things done. So that was really nice to be with her. Thank you, Nini. Yes, I absolutely love this clock. We went to this antique mall that's here near Austin, and it was the very first thing that I saw. And y'all know I have an affinity for antique clocks. My mom got me addicted to these antiques. So I got a new little trinket to look at. I think I have 9 clocks in my house now. 9 clocks, yes. Um, and I know a lot of y'all collect things as well, but my mom got me on antiques, and my dining room, y'all, is starting to look really pretty. And I'm just really grateful. When I say I collect antiques, what I mean is my mom gives me something from her house, or she helps to buy me a gift. So my mom still spoils me, which is really nice to have a mom. Yes, my mom has fabulous taste. She really does. I have to say I've taken after my mom quite well in the way that we decorate our homes and use antiques to go in our house. So this is a little antique table that my mom painted in her house. She painted it black and there's white marble on the top. And of course, I have one of my statues that's also a clock on top of it in the corner. So that was my other birthday present. She had this in her cabinet. And she was, people have been wanting to buy it from her. And she's like, nope, nope, saving it for my daughter. And so it was brown and she painted it black. And we just put it in my dining room with a new plant that we got from Hobby Lobby and my antique clock. And I just think it looks really pretty in the corner. So I'm very, very spoiled there. Are your clocks chiming clocks? So my clocks do work, but I don't have them set to chime because y'all have about 10 clocks in my house and it would be very, very loud in my house if all the clocks were chiming. But the funny thing is the new clock that I bought yesterday, it kept ticking and it kept going off and it scared the crap out of me because I'm not used to this chiming clock, but you have to wind them up to make sure that they run. And so every time my mom comes here, she gets annoyed because she can't tell the time because none of my clocks are on. So I tell it on my cell phone or I tell it I tell it on my cell phone basically or the TV. So, but yeah, my mom has over 20 plus clocks and it used to be really loud when you would go to her house. And so she doesn't have them turned on anymore. Oh my gosh, y'all, I need my glasses. I can't read these comments. Flower Garden says, so glad you are feeling okay to do a live. You are sounding good. Your gifts are beautiful. Thank you. You know what it is, guys? And I'm sure a lot of y'all I'm in my 50s, and I know a lot of y'all are close to my age group. And when you get older, your parents, you have to deal with the reality. Your parents are just not going to be there forever. And but with my dad, he was 84. He lived a long, really good life. But when people get older, they go down a lot quicker. And my dad suffered a stroke in November of last year. Now, the year previously, he had something that happened in his brain where he wasn't able to walk, but he had a walker and he could get around. And then last November, he had a stroke. And that affected the right side of his body where he literally could not move and he was bedridden. So for the past 6 months, my dad was bedridden. And that really is hard. It's hard to watch someone you love go down like that. And it was heartbreaking. And I actually had a dream about my father, you guys. And I know a lot of people, a lot of times when someone passes, they get visited by a family member or a friend. And I had the most lovely dream about my father. I'll try not to cry, I tell you. It was the day after he died. I dreamed we were sitting in a restaurant and he was sitting across from me and he looked radiant. He looked 10, 20 years younger and he was wearing one of his really nice dress shirts. We used to go out to dinner at these steakhouses here in Texas and he was dressed really snazzy. And my dad was a very good looking man and he used to wear these long sleeve dress shirts and he looked wonderful. And in my dream, he looked almost like he was glowing. He looked radiant, like 10, 20 years younger. He was wearing one of his dress shirts and he had his arm around my stepmom and he was smiling. He was smiling. And to me, it felt like he was telling me I'm happy and I'm in a better place. And that was really important for me to have that. And so I think when we have a loved one who passes on, it's really important to get those types of messages so we can feel better. And I feel better knowing that my dad's in a better place and it helps you to heal. So, yes, he came back to let me know that he's fine. Absolutely, because the last image I have of my dad wasn't the type of image that anybody wants to have of their family member. And so the fact that I was able to get a visit from him and to see him as he wanted me to see him, I think was important. And I know a lot of people, when someone passes, they get visited by a family member. And yeah, it was really important for me to be able to have that. So yeah, I got a little message from my dad, and it made me feel better. It made me kind of heal. Yeah, so it was a beautiful visitation, and I know a lot of people have that as well. And we knew it was coming, but you're never prepared. You never know about it. Stephanie, hey Steph, thank you, Steph, for stopping by. You're such a sweetheart. Love, yes. I love you too, girl. Steph's been amazing. She's reached out. I appreciate that. We have such a lovely community of people here. So yeah, you guys have been really wonderful. And I just want to get on here and say thank you all so much for the support. And yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, you were such a pretty attractive as I say, gal, for such a sweet person. You easily tackle tough topics. Love you and your channel. Thank you so much. Love Sunshine. I appreciate that. Well, because I know a lot of people, deal with it as well. I'm not the only person, and I think we're all friends here in the community. And I like to talk about things and share with you guys because I feel like y'all are my friends. And so I do like to share. And I know a lot of people knew about my dad. Thank you, Nick. She said, praying for you and your family. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to take a while to heal. I don't think we truly do heal, but I'm happy knowing I got to say goodbye to him, and that he sent me a message that he's happy. And so we're working on his funeral right now with the military honors. We're arranging to have the military honors where they have the military send off, and that's going to be a very nice ceremony, hopefully. So yeah, we're working on that. But I just want to thank y'all because you've been very supportive. All the nice comments and words have really helped me a lot, you guys. It really has. Laura Miller says, I lost my mom 6 weeks ago, so I do understand your pain. Love and prayers to you and yours. Thank you so much, and sorry for your loss. Losing a parent, I think, is one of the hardest things besides losing a child. Aw. Thanks, Steph. Love you too, hun. Yeah, she's amazing. We're gonna do a collab soon, Steph. She's asked me a few times. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do it very soon. So I can't wait to have that collab coming up, guys. Serena says, my dad passed 7 years ago and I've never really healed. To be honest, I don't think I ever will. Absolutely. It's hard to lose a parent. It really is. But just know they're in a better place. And that's what helps me get through it. It really does. Lily of the Valley says, that is such a beautiful dream. I truly believe it was his way of reassuring you. Yes, I absolutely believe that 100%. Tisha says, he came back to let you know he is fine. How precious. Yeah, I do believe that too. I do believe our loved ones speak to us, and it's important to get those messages. Yeah. I'm going to load up some stuff. I actually just finished watching a really cool TV show. It's an older show, and I thought I would share it with you guys. So I know you guys like when I share TV shows. Okay, that one's not working. Well, anyways, there's a new TV show that is called, it's an old TV show that's actually called, I'm sorry, guys. I can't read and do two things at the same time. Well, there was a TV show that I was watching on, I think it was Amazon Prime. It's an older show. It was called The Paradise, and it was a really cool show. It was about a department store in the 1800s, and it had 2 seasons. So if you guys are looking for a show that's kind of like a Downton Abbey, I highly recommend it. It was a really good period piece about a department store. Has anyone seen it? Let me know in the comments. But it's a really good show. I just finished that one, so I highly, highly recommend it. I really, really enjoyed that one. Oh, it says, Heather McLean says, hello from Dundee, Scotland. Michelle, I believe your dad will always be around you watching over you. I've been to see a spiritualist medium, and I know my folks are around me. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Yes. Okay. So you watched The Paradise a few years ago. Yeah, it's an older show, but it's about a department store that's like in the 1800s, I think. And I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I can't figure it out, but it's an old. It's a really good show. Let me see if I can get some other images here for you guys. I'm sorry, trying to do too many things at one time here. Not very good at this kind of stuff. See if we can get this loaded. Fan says, I lost my dad 10 years ago this spring, so I get it. I didn't realize how my ex best friend was a narcissist. Just like Megan until Megxit, I was in a similar situation as Harry. Yeah, I never even really knew what a narcissist was until HD Tutor. It was like when I started watching his channel, it was like, oh my gosh, that explains a lot. Because there were a couple of people around me. I had an ex best friend that was a complete narcissist, and she ghosted me just like Meghan Markle did with a lot of people. And it's like, wow, I wish I would have had this information, 20 years ago. I just thought she was a nice person. And the funny thing was, she thought she was a kind person. She was always be positive, positive vibes. And she was not a positive person, which is the ironic thing, is that a lot of, narcissists believe that they're nice people, but they're actually not. Let's see. Okay. What is she saying? That's the link about the show. Oh, you sent me a link? What if you sent me a link? Okay. Um, yeah, it was on PBS, I think a couple of years ago. It only had 2 seasons, which I really enjoyed. But now I'm watching Marie Antoinette on PBS. Have y'all been watching that? They have 2 seasons. This is the 2nd season. And I'm really interested right now in that Marie Antoinette. Steph says, my favorite show from the past that I would recommend is called The Prisoner. The original one released in 1967. It is an existentialist nightmare, but it's really cool. Okay. We'll have to look into that, Steph, see where we can find that. Find that. Fan says she was very jealous of how well connected I was with other people. Yeah, the funny thing about narcissist was that my ex-friend who was the narcissist, she was a beautiful girl. I mean, a supermodel, okay? Gorgeous. She always had the attention, but the minute something happened for me or someone gave me attention, she was never happy for me. Never happy for me. And I thought, okay. That's interesting. So it sounds a lot like your friend. Hi, Pinky. Pinky's Tea Party. Glad you could join. Yeah, so The Paradise, guys, I recommend if you have an opportunity to go and see it. And then the next one would be the Marie Antoinette right now. Season 2 is playing on PBS. And so I've been watching that. That's a really good one. Even though I do get depressed when I watch stuff on Marie Antoinette because we know how it's going to end. It's not going to end well for her. But I do like to watch the show. But the interesting thing about the show that I'm really liking is that on my other YouTube channel, Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion, I did a video called Affair of the Necklace. And the Affair of the Necklace talks about the conspiracy theory to bring down Marie Antoinette, where the necklace actually was for Madame de Bari, who was the mistress for King Louis XV. And so I like the fact that the show is going down the path of the Affair of the Necklace. So I'm really liking that. Let me know if you guys have watched that Marie Antoinette on PBS. It's actually really good. Oh, okay. So The Prisoner is on Tubi, I think. Okay. And another person told me to watch Glenn Ross. I've heard of that, but I don't know what it's about. So I definitely am going to check that out. Hello, Cynthia. Glad you can make it from Vermont. Charlotte Thien says, Michelle, take care. Glad your father will have a military funeral. Yes, that's the only thing my dad really wanted, was to have the military send off. And so that's what we're definitely trying to do for them, for sure. So, what do y'all think about Meghan Markle's podcast? Have any of y'all checked in and listened to the podcast? Now, I did listen to the episode, and I'm actually working on a video today about the podcast. But you guys, she's such a narcissist. It is so odd. I've never in my life met a woman who has experienced everything. Everything has happened to Meghan Markle. And if you've done something, well, Meghan Markle's done it too, but she's done it 10 times worse. It's like she tries to become her guest and she hijacks their experiences. It's like single white female meets, what is it, Buffalo Bill from Put the Lotion in the Basket, from what is that movie? I can't even think about it. Silence of the Lambs. She's so weird. I've never in my life met someone who hijacks experiences from people and then makes it her own. Now, I'm sure y'all have heard by now the story about the postpartum preeclampsia. To me, I'm going to call this BS. To me, this is miscarriage. This is a New York City car chase. I'm 43% Nigerian. This woman is just everything. Now, I think we all know by now that if this woman would have had a very bad, medical scare after the birth of one of her kids, it would have been everywhere. She would have written an op-ed like she did about her miscarriage, right? Or it would have been in Harry's book, Spare. They never talk about her pregnancies, which is where I think it's weird. Now, I've never been pregnant. I don't have children. But most people, or most women who have children, at some point, they talk about, when I was pregnant with my second, I had this or I did that, their birth story, but they don't. It's like really weird, right? And we know that Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, she had a very serious problem, I believe, with her second child. If I'm correct, she almost died. She had a very serious medical condition that was very public. I mean, she didn't hide it. It was well known. She was in the hospital. But if Meghan Markle would have had that, it would have been news. She would have been in the hospital, right? But of course, with Lily, we didn't really know exactly where she was born. I know it was California. Again, everything with her is just so weird. But I'm sorry. I don't believe this woman, if this actually happened to her, would have kept this quiet for what, 6 years? 3 to 6 years, however old Archie is and Lilibet, because we don't know what pregnancy, right, or what child she's talking about. I'm assuming it's Lily, because if it was Archie, she was released from the hospital, according to them, after 4 hours. I mean, the whole thing didn't make sense. But I just find that her friend has this supposed rare post preeclampsia. And I did too. Yeah, I did too. What a coinky dink. I mean, come on. Does anyone believe that this is true? So I'm going to get to the comments here. Yeah, they said that Sophie was airlifted by helicopter to the hospital. It was that serious. That's right. I think she had a couple of years where she couldn't get pregnant, and then she got pregnant, and she had kind of a late pregnancy. And of course, Meghan, she was in her late 30s? Was she 40 when she had Lily? Because she's going to be 44. So she was a geriatric pregnancy, right? Joe says all BS in my opinion. Yeah, there's just something really weird about the way she just kept this to herself for 6 years. Yeah, I don't think so, guys. Oh, okay. Lizzie B says, I'm not trying to be rude, but what does preeclampsia have to do with business? And I'm sorry to anyone who has experienced this medical condition. Absolutely, Lizzie. You brought up a good point. So, when I was listening to the business podcast, and y'all know I do have a business background, and toot my own horn, toot toot. And I used to have a business podcast. Actually, I had 99 episodes, and so I thought, okay, she's interviewing this woman, Whitney, who was the co-founder of Tinder and started Bumble. She was one of the first female self-made billionaires in like 2021. So I thought, oh my God, she's going to give amazing business advice. I'm excited. Nothing. You get nothing. Okay. You can go to Pinterest and pick out a platitude, and that's what you're going to get. Love yourself. Love yourself. Oh, wow. Thank you for that. She even said, if you're not going to worry about it in 5 months, don't give it 5 minutes. I'm not even joking. I'm like, is this the advice you're actually giving people? Oh my God, it was so bad. And I'll break it down further in the video, but the whole thing was so boring. It was two rich white women sitting around drinking Chardonnay and crisp white linen t-shirts talking about their lot in life, how hard it is. I'm like, okay. Cry me a river. Now, this lady, Whitney, also married a multi-millionaire. So she was kind of already rich. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have any advice to give. Maybe she didn't struggle. I don't know. But I was really disappointed. And the fact they brought up the preeclampsia, it was like, why would you bring that up in a business podcast? Absolutely nothing to do with the business podcast. But I did feel like every time the woman would say something, it would revert to bringing up about Megan's victimhood. There was always a way to like bring it around to Megan. She has this talent for bringing everything and making it about herself. So I don't think this podcast, y'all, is going to do very well. Business podcasts can be a little dry. I can be honest, they can be a little boring and a little dry. Someone like Mel Robbins is amazing. She does amazing like self-help tips, but this was nowhere near that. For a lady as successful as her guest was, you literally walk away with nothing except for that Meghan Markle supposedly had preeclampsia. We're like, okay, that's a new tidbit. It's like the fire that Archie had in the nursery in Africa. Remember that doozy that she dropped? And we're all just sitting here going, huh? That never happened. It's very, very odd. So she says, Gina Jennings says, do you think Harry and Meghan will get a divorce soon? Who will initiate the divorce? That's a really good question. And I'm not sure, because I feel like they kind of got themselves on an island of two. You know what I'm saying? They've screwed the pooch. They don't have any friends. Nobody wants them. I think they're kind of stuck together for a while. But I do believe in the next 2 years it's going to crumble. I think after everything blows up in Meghan Markle's face and she has no more hope of starting a business or a podcast or a Netflix deal, when everything dries up, I think we could possibly see a separation. And right now, Harry, with this court case, with his, security thing, he looks like a complete knob. First, he says they were forced out the royal family, and now he's saying, oh, well, they wanted to trap me and let me stay. Well, which is it? Were you forced to leave, or are they trying to keep you? Meanwhile, you're literally suing your father's government to come back, to basically come back and get, the same security as the king. Well, if you don't want to be a royal, you don't want to be there, then why are you fighting so hard to come back and get all the trappings? You know what I mean? It's asinine. Lily of the Valley says they are wielded to each other. I don't think they will ever divorce. He will forever be her meal ticket. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. Without Harry, she's really nothing. She's really nothing. I know she thinks she's missed something, but she's really nothing. She's trying. I think that's what she's trying to do, is she's trying to establish herself as Meghan or Megan Sussex or Megan the Duchess of Sussex, but everything that she's doing right now is falling apart. She's not really able to get over that hump and become successful. Now, they're saying she's successful, and on paper, oh, my product sold out in an hour. Look at me, I'm successful. Oh, I have a podcast that's ranked number 4. Look at me, I'm successful. My cooking show is in the top 10 of Netflix. Look at me, I'm successful. But in reality, she's not. She doesn't have longevity, and she doesn't keep people interested past the initial stage of watching the car wreck. She doesn't get people to the next level. Um, excuse me. Joe says, I think Harry is trying to get back to the UK, the royal grift. Yeah, I really do believe that Harry wants to go back to the royal family. But the problem with Harry and Meghan was they never really wanted to leave the royal family completely. What they wanted to do is they wanted to be half in and half out, and they wanted to pick and choose the jobs they wanted to do. And then they wanted to go off to California and make money in Hollywood and sign all these deals. And then they just wanted to come back and show up for the pomp and circumstance, like the fun stuff, right? But the queen was like, no, you can't do that. And their biggest argument was, well, Fergie did it, but Fergie was divorced and she wasn't a working royal and she had to pay back all of her debts. So she didn't have a choice because she got cut off. She didn't have a huge divorce settlement like Diana, and she owed millions of dollars. So she had to go out and work, and she wrote books and she did Weight Watchers and Wedgwood China, and she paid it all back. So I have to hand it to Fergie. She worked her butt off and she paid it back. And so they kept comparing themselves to Fergie, but it's like, no, Fergie was not going between commercial and working royal. She was literally out of the family. She was out of the family. And then she was forced to work, sing for her supper. So that was the thing that Meghan couldn't get through her noggin, was it's not the same situation. Mary White says, I still think she should go back to soaps, maybe overseas. Yeah, Meghan's running out of choices. Excuse me. I think she's going to maybe appear on Suits. I would not be surprised if Meghan Markle, y'all, made a special guest appearance on the reboot of Suits. I still think she's going to turn into the cameo queen, maybe in 2026, 2027, when all of her other stuff falls apart. I think she's going to be forced to doing like cameos where she plays herself and she just shows up on a TV show. Lily says, I really can't understand why she found talking about a serious medical condition funny. Yeah, she's just really weird. Again, that whole thing had no place on the business podcast. And if you read the description of the podcast, it makes 0 sense. Joe says that Lady Bumble was already rich. Lost Beyond Pluto made a fab clip. Okay. Sorry, I had to drink here. Lily B says, oh, that's why James, Earl of Wessex, is way younger than Lady Louise. Huh? Oh, yes. Right. I think there's, a 5 or 6 year age difference? Isn't Lady Louise like 21 or 20? And I think he's like 15. I'm not really sure. Andrea Black said, it's not fun at all I had with my son. I'm sorry to hear that. But see, Meghan Markle was acting like it's so rare. Nobody ever has it, but yet you've had it, right? So it wasn't maybe as rare as she's trying to make it seem. I just feel like every time Meghan Markle has a guest on her show, maybe because it's her narcissism, she feels like she's trying to connect with people. So she like mimics them. Oh, you're Nigerian. Oh, so am I. I'm 43%. We've never seen any proof. We've never found out what tribe. It's just she says, and that's it. So now she's telling this woman, oh, by the way, I had it too, just like you. Aren't we connecting? It's rare. You know what I mean? And again, I don't wish that upon anybody, but it's reminding me of her miscarriage story. And I have to be honest, I don't believe she had a miscarriage either. I really don't. But that's just my opinion. It's just, I don't believe anything this woman says. She could tell me the sky is blue, and I just wouldn't believe her. MS said, I dare Megsy to interview an astronaut. Then we can hear about her time at NASA. I cannot wait, right? Oh my God. Just like she told people she worked for, was it the UN in Argentina, and she couldn't even pass the test? Good Lord. Yeah. There's just something really strange. So I have a feeling every week we're going to get a new nugget from Megan in her podcast of some new skill, some new job that she had. When she told people she backpacked through France, we're all just like, huh? You backpacked through France, and she was a nanny for these two Irish Catholic families. I mean, my goodness, this woman has had 30 jobs before the age of 15. Like, she acts like she had to pay for her supper, that her dad wasn't a rich lighting director at the Sizzler. I mean, she's had so many experiences as a latchkey kid, and then the next time, oh, I was raised on the set of Married with Kids. It's like, really? What is it? Were you by yourself with a latchkey, or were you on the set of, was it Married with Children? Like, she just contradicts herself, constantly. She doesn't make any sense. But I am looking forward to hearing the new nuggets of lies that we're going to uncover every episode, because she did it on archetypes. If y'all remember, she had the Korean spa story, the nursery burning down story. She had a couple of other ones that I can't remember, but she always has this new story that she just drops, the 43% Nigerian. So I have a feeling, y'all, we're going to get some more juicy nuggets. That is for sure. Nick says she needs to keep a notebook to keep track of her lies. Yeah, I think right now she's using like an Etch-a-Sketch, and she forgets what she tells people. 100%. Gina Jennings says, I heard Amazon are in talks about signing Megan for some shows. I hope that doesn't happen. I heard it, but I don't know what the source is, so I kind of don't know if it's true. Now, I don't think Jeff Bezos is a huge fan of Megan, and I don't think his wife to be Lauren is a huge fan. I mean, they weren't invited to the birthday parties. They don't really socialize with them. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. But honestly, anyone who signs Megan and Harry at this point deserves to lose money. Spotify didn't make money. I don't think that Penguin Random House really made a profit. I think they broke even. Netflix, I don't think they've made a huge profit. I mean, it seems like ever since they signed Harry and Meghan, so many people have dropped their memberships, have dropped their subscription, and then they raised their prices, and people were like, nope, I'm out of here. And there's so much more competition now with Hulu and Paramount and Max that a lot of people left Netflix, and they really are expensive now. I think they raised mine a couple of dollars. So, in my opinion, Harry and Meghan's hit was 3 years ago. It was 2022, guys. We're talking 2.5 years ago. Polo was a flop. Her show I would say was minimally successful, but I think it totally nosedived. So are they making a ton of money off of her? Maybe. I think it did better than Polo, but I don't see their stock going up. I don't think people are getting memberships because they're working with them. And we still haven't seen the movie Meet Me at the Lake. Now, the lady, Carly Fortune, who wrote Meet Me at the Lake, has another book that's being adapted to film. And I believe she's with Amazon, which is a competitor to Netflix, which I find very interesting. Why didn't she want to work with Netflix again? Why didn't she sell it to them? And, it's been over a year, like a year and a couple of months, like a year and a half. We have not heard anything about Meet Me at the Lake. We haven't heard about a director, a writer, producer, any casting, nada. Now, for her new project over at Amazon, they already have, I believe, a script writer and a director. So I have a feeling we'll see her second book with Amazon come out before Meet Me at the Lake. So I'm very curious to see if this thing is ever going to materialize. There's rumors that Netflix is not happy with her cooking show. They're not happy with her product. It has been a disaster. A disaster. You guys, that is literally the worst launch I've ever seen. Where the hell's the honey? Like, that was a joke. And Netflix has now tied themselves to the production of her lifestyle brand. So they're kind of in bed with it. I don't know how far they are, but can you just imagine the lawsuits that might happen with this woman? I don't think coming out with food was the best idea. I really don't. And the fact that she partnered with Snow Commerce, people who were known to sell items that weren't in stock. Are you kidding me? A 1 on the BBB? Like, this woman is so dumb, honestly. I just don't get it. So rumor is Netflix is not happy with her. We know the second part of her show is coming out in the fall. So the fact that Amazon might be sniffing around, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think Amazon would be dumb enough to take her on? The only way that Harry and Meghan would be successful is to do another pretty much trashing the monarchy series or a real behind the scenes reality show, which I don't think they would do. So, what else could they offer anybody that would be worth anything? I don't see what she would be doing for Amazon. Daily Mail did a review of products. Sumi made a great clip. Okay, yeah, I did see the Daily Mail. Now, some people apparently got the honey. Apparently, a couple people actually did, but they said it tasted like wax and it was really small. So it did not look very appetizing, in my opinion. Thank you, Joe, for the super sticker. I really, really appreciate that. Lily says Amazon is trying to get Prince William desperately. I don't think they'll touch Meghan. Yep, with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, who knows? Oh, got a comment here about Sophie. What was the name of that fancy bank that the Sussex 2 were involved with, and it also died a fast death? Huh. I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments knows. They've been involved with quite a few things that have died. That is for sure. MS says, go Dr. Sophie, we cannot wait for the Centiball report surface. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, so I'm definitely on the lookout for that. You know, I just find it hilarious how Harry and Meghan have built their entire platform on being professional victims and calling racism an unconscious bias, you know, to the royal family and how they were mistreated and they were forced out the royal family. Now they're being accused of racism and bullying. I think chef's kiss. I love it. Karma has come full circle. You know, 5 years later, here it comes. And they can't really use the race card anymore, can they? I mean, they're being accused of mistreating a woman of color, a very smart, professional, educated woman of color, who, by the way, is a very successful woman and whose family was one of the third highest donors to Centibale. So if you think about it, why would this woman just decide, oh, I don't want to leave the board because I need an ego trip for a volunteer position? My family happens to be one of the largest donors. I actually am a lawyer and I own a company with my brother, but I'm just going to go out there and make these false claims about Harry because I don't want to leave my position. Do you not think there's any other company out there that would gladly take this woman to be a trustee on the board of their company with her resume and her expertise and her money that she has from her family? There's absolutely no motivation as to why this woman would just blow up her entire life so she could stay at the head of Centibale, unless there were some facts, right? And the whole thing with his friend, Harry's friend, clapping back saying that she's just jealous, that was the most asinine and embarrassing thing he could have ever said. It's like they're in high school. I cannot believe that they were okay with this man speaking on their behalf. He made them look so dumb by saying, she's just jealous. She's jealous of Megan. That's their go to. You're just jealous. Unbelievable. When we have clips of her mistreating this woman on the stage. So I am very curious to see what's going to happen with the investigation with Sente Bale. But a lot of people think because he is Prince Harry, do you think that they're going to publicly come out with this report? I think it's going to be not public or they're going to hide it. I don't know, guys. Do you think they're going to make that report public? Let me know. And she works for free. Exactly. Why would you blow up your entire life to work for free? It doesn't make any sense. She lies all the time. She certainly does. So, about Megan, her reputation is so bad that according to Neil Sean, he said in one of his videos that Harry and Meghan hired consultants. They always hire consultants to find out why people cannot stand them in Hollywood. I'm like, can you just check out our YouTube channel? We can literally tell you exactly why people cannot stand you. Unbelievable. Flower Garden said she backtracked on the I'm Megan Sussex now. I think she was not told not to use it. See, Sue Smith called me this morning and she told me that there was a rumor that Meghan Markle was now backtracking on that. I haven't heard that. Flower Garden, who told you that? Can you tell me where you heard that? Because I haven't heard that. MS says, I live in Africa and Dr. Sophie used a word in her newspaper report. That is a serious African word. It roughly means looked out for other people, pronounced Ubuntu. It means looked out for other people. Are you saying that she said she was looking out for other people when she used that word, MS? Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to go public. It's going to be much like the Palace Bullion report, where they're not going to let us know. Lily says Dr. Sophie has been involved with the charity since 2009. How is it no one ever had an issue with her prior to Megan? Exactly. Exactly. Jan King said, you must be living in unreality. When my dad passed, I couldn't believe that the world could go on without him. Everything was out of order and so strange. My love to you. Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't feel real. It's been a week. He died a week ago today. It doesn't feel real. I had moments where I'm like, oh, I want to call my dad and tell him something, and then I have to stop myself. But yeah, it's going to be like the upside down for a while. That is for sure. Oh, okay. So she said that the charity is supposed to do Ubuntu, like look out for people. Exactly. And I think with this lady, Sophie, she also was trying to kind of modernize the charity and have it go in another direction because they were no longer focusing on AIDS or HIV, and she wanted to keep it in Africa. And I believe Harry and them wanted to move it to the United States. So they were having issues with, I guess, the way it was being run. Yeah. Nana Lana says, if the news about Santa Bali has no updates or info, then I will be very angry and it will mean money was given or Dr. Sophie was threatened and backed away. Well, the commission that regulates nonprofits, they're doing the investigation. So it's not about Santa Bali. It's already being held with a third party and they're doing an investigation. So I think if their findings probably could become public, but they might keep it behind closed doors because they also want to save face for Sentabale. But I believe Harry might try to pay people off like they did with the bullion allegations, but it's being done by a third party, the commissioner. So that's why I'm wondering when that report is going to come out and if it actually comes out. Yeah, I do too. I hope they make the report public. Jan King says, oh, same one, sorry. Let's see here. Lizzie asked about the honey. It's because of the honeycomb. I would have used that for an aesthetic promo pics, but not for consumption. Oh, so that's what made it taste like wax. It looked pretty in the jar. I mean, if all the products, I was actually interested in the honey. So I do find it interesting that Megan really was pushing more of her jam and her spread, and she was pushing the edible flowers, but she wasn't really pushing the honey. So why would the most expensive product, that's $28, the one she talked about the least, why would that be the one that was oversold? You would have thought the jam would have been the one, or the flowers would have been oversold, because she talked about those repeatedly. She even did commemorative packaging for the spread, but she didn't really talk that much about the honey. That is why I find the whole thing kind of suspicious, as why was that the product that oversold as compared to the other products that were, a lot more popular. So everything about that just seems very, very suspicious to me, because I know how those sites work. It just doesn't make any sense. Extra hair. Yeah. Diz Fan says, when do you think her book will come out that she allegedly says she is going to happen? Do you think it will be before, during, or after? I don't think she's going to come up with a book. I think I've heard she might come out with a wellness book, which would make sense to kind of be in a complement to her her cooking show and her product, maybe like a wellness, because people might be interested in what she does for fans. But as far as the burn book goes, I would definitely say after the divorce. Yeah, she's holding on to that, is what I think. Definitely. So do you guys have any questions or topics that you want to talk about? Put them in the chat. Let me know. We're probably going to wrap this up in a couple of minutes. I didn't realize we're on here for an hour. I just want to do a quick little live with you guys. See how everyone was doing. Like I said, I'm definitely working on a video. I know I'm behind on my content, so I do apologize, and I appreciate y'all staying with me and having patience with me, because I know the news comes out really fast, and I am a little bit behind because of everything. So what do y'all think about this New York City, this visit with 4 motorcades, you guys? 4 motorcades, 4 cars. Absolutely ridiculous. Yes, the divorce book for sure. Now, the interesting thing about Megan is I don't know why she acts like everyone is there for her. She went to see her friend at that Broadway play, but when she was backstage, she was acting like, oh, those people are here for me. Like she was sitting there talking to the little girl who had flowers, acting like she was at a royal visit and the people were there for her. And the way that she overhugged that lady, just like she did at that hair tonic launch. Do y'all remember that hair story, or the hair company, where she made this huge production of like, oh my God, we're such besties. And she was in every photo with that woman, holding on to her, clinging her, hugging her, kissing her. She acts like it's because of her that this woman was able to launch her hair care brand. And now she's acting like, oh my God, because I'm here and I'm such a wonderful friend to this lady, she's starring on Broadway. like overly hugging, these big manic hugs that she does because she's such a hugger. It's bizarre the way she's constantly hanging on people. Now I'm going to do a whole video on this, guys, but she's so weird. She's weird and she doesn't know what to do with herself when people don't pay attention to her. Yes, so someone was said, Susanna says, "Did you see her backstage? Nobody wanted to be around her. She looked manic." She did, and she was like scratching her head like she had lice and just standing there kind of awkwardly. It's like she doesn't know what to do if she's not the center of attention. But again, she wasn't the center of attention. It wasn't her show. She was a guest to see a Broadway show. The Broadway people were the stars of the show, but again, Megan was acting like because she was there, it was all because of her, just like Tyler Perry. When he was getting that award and she makes that huge protection and she comes over and hugs Tyler, like she had anything to do with him getting that award at all, right? Like she had anything to do with his career. It's just very, very odd to me. Uh-huh. Baby grandma says she reminds me of baby Jane. Absolutely. Again, it's her narcissism. She doesn't know what to do with herself, you know? Lily of the Valley says, "Why are New Yorkers not angry by the amount of security their taxes paid for?" Well, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. I think she pissed a lot of people off. I think it was last year or the year before where she did the catastrophic New York City car chase that didn't happen. I think she pissed a lot of people off. Gina says, "Megan's hairline is looking pretty sparse. I think she is going bald." Well, I have to tell y'all, there was a couple of pictures and videos when she did the H&M documentary. Her forehead looked a little bigger. Her hairline was further back. So I do believe she wears hair pieces. Nothing wrong with that, but I do believe she does wear hair pieces. And you see her hairline changes quite a bit. Some might. Okay, so Lily says, "Some might not know their taxes are paying for it." Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Susan says, "I'm a New Yorker and I'm pissed by their NYPD appearance." Yeah, absolutely. I know that the Royal Grift is not happy. That is for sure. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really care for them. They're not as popular as they used to be. Um, I think more and more people are just sick of the BS. It's been 5 years since Megxit, and they haven't done anything. They said they were going to do all these things and bring positivity to the world and work with small independent journalists, and they're in the tabloids. They contact People Magazine and Us Weekly and Vanity Fair, go on their fake royal tours. They're full of it. They're full of it. MS says when this divorce happens, the Windsors will tie her down with a monthly stipend. You shut up and say nothing, and you'll get your monthly payment. Speak, and the money stops. Yeah, I agree. I think what they're going to do, when Diana got her 25 million, she had to sign an NDA because they don't want her coming out with a divorce book, right? Destroying the monarchy. So with Meghan Markle, they most certainly will have to sign some sort of NDA because we all know she's going to try to come out with a divorce book. So she might even get that book published before the divorce is final, just so she can have it out there before she has to sign it. I don't know. But you know how she always says, "I never sign an NDA and I have a lot to say." All those diaries, that's a threat. That's an open threat to the monarchy. And I think when William becomes king, there's going to be a new sheriff in town. Things are going to change when William takes the throne. Now, there's a rumor that William wants to get rid of the titles and he wants to get rid of them. I think they should be removed from the line of succession. Their children really shouldn't be there. They've never been to the UK. They know nothing about the culture. They're not really a part of the family. I mean, do they really need to be in the line of succession? They're living in Montecito. Why do they need to be in the line of succession? I think they should be removed. That's just my opinion. Kesa says she will release book around William's coronation. Mm, that would be not a good move for her, that's for sure. Now, if he removes her titles, yeah, maybe she'll do that for revenge, right? Yeah, that's true. Emma says whatever she says, we will not believe her. Yeah, and the thing that makes me angry about Harry is that he never corrected, um, the mistruths about his family being racist. He never corrected any of that. He tries to act like he never did any of those things, but he never corrected it. And so now he's being called a racist. And it's like, well, you kind of did it to yourself. You and your wife did. You never backtracked any of the negative things that were being said. You know for a fact that people were thinking horrible things about your family. And now you're having karma coming back to you. And people just don't believe Harry and Meghan anymore because they know they're full of it. I don't know when we're going to find out about his court case, when we're going to find out if he gets his, what is it, royal protection from the Home Office. But what do y'all think? Do you think Harry's going to get his royal protection? Or do you think he's going to be denied? Let me know, guys, in the comments. I'm really hoping he's denied, guys. If he gets it, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad. But let me know in the comments, do you think he's going to get his royal protection? Or do you think they're finally going to tell this man no and shut the door? Denied. That's right. They have completely destroyed their reputation with the Oprah interview. That was the biggest mistake. Absolutely. I was actually going to do a video on the biggest mistakes they made at Medsit. So if y'all are interested in me doing that, put in the comments, because it's the 5-year anniversary. And they have just completely screwed the pooch. They have backed themselves into a corner, and they only have themselves to thank. They can't keep blaming the royal family for the fact that they're unliked and that they're unpopular. Susanna says all of those vile things, yep, said about Catherine, and he was silent. Yeah, when Omid Scooby-Doo came out with his second book and said that Charles and Catherine were the ones who made those comments, he didn't come out and correct anything or say, oh, that's not true. He just stayed silent. Absolutely. Shine says, I don't think he'll get what he wants. They might say instead of 30 days notice, he can give maybe 20 days advance notice. Yeah, I mean, this guy doesn't deserve the protection he has now. I think they're doing the right thing. They give him protection. He has never gone there and been unprotected. Because every single time he's gone there, it's either been for a state event like a funeral, a coronation, the Jubilee. He's gone a couple of times for the Invictus Games, but he had full protection. They put full protection out there in front of, I think, was it Windsor Castle, where he went for the 10-year anniversary. He had protection. He also has his own protection, guys. He has his own protection. This man is never in any danger. Meanwhile, he can go to Ukraine. He can go to Nigeria. He can go to Colombia. His wife can just get on and fly to New York City. She doesn't need four bodyguards. They have the means to pay for security. So why should the UK taxpayers pay for him when he shows up with his kids once a year? It's a case by case basis with a 28-day notice. He can also stay at Buckingham Palace. He could stay at royal residences. He has places to go. It's not like he's at the Holiday Inn and has to schlump it himself. The man has security. So I don't understand why he keeps pushing it. Now, we know it's the IPP status. Now, some people are saying he's trying to get the IPP status because of stuff that happened in his past with his visa. So that could be a whole other thing. Lily says, Harry has exposed himself with all of his travels to dangerous places. It won't help his case at all. I really hope they bring up him traveling to Ukraine. What in the holy heck was that about? Did y'all see on Megan's stories? They were eating bread that they got from somebody from Ukraine. Like, oh, look, Daddy, Daddy brought us bread from the Ukraine. And they're sitting there eating this bread. I'm like, oh my God, you're such a numbskull. You're in a lawsuit fighting for security, and then you just decide to go to a war zone, as a stopover. Unbelievable. Exactly. It's about IPP. Kesa says he insinuates that he could raise William's children right, and that William and Catherine is fake relationship. Projection is an awful thing. Absolutely. Coming from two people who are never around their kids. I mean, Archie's 6, Lily's 3. So he decides to go to the UK, then Ukraine, and his mother, the wife, decides to go to New York City. So who's watching the kids? Again, left with a nanny, left with Doria. They travel a lot for two people who have very small kids. They travel a lot. Didn't his bodyguard carry a gun on one visit? I'm not sure because I know in the UK the laws are different for guns. I believe they cannot carry guns, but the king's bodyguards do because he's the king. So when he's in America and other countries, all of his protection, I'm assuming, have guns. But in the UK, I guess it depends on the level of security he's going to get for that event that they might have a gun. But he's still very, very protected. Lily says, I have a feeling the trip to Ukraine is a means to claim travel expenses via Invictus Games for the UK court case. Yeah, very well be. They're saying he had a gun case. And was this in the UK? The person had a gun case in the UK. Maybe he got protection while he was there for the lawsuit, No idea. MS says he never stays at royal residences, always in a hotel or a private club, Soho House. Could that be due to thoroughly searched for his luggage? The powder. I don't think so. I don't really know why he does that, to be honest. Why he rejects. I know a lot of the royals, for whatever reason, they don't like Buckingham Palace. Maybe it's too public. I think now it's open to the public. Maybe it's too much of a tourist attraction. Maybe he feels unsafe at Buckingham Palace, even though there's a ton of security. So for whatever reason, he just always rejects Buckingham Palace. So maybe he just doesn't want the staff to be watching him if he's doing those types of things. So he tends to stay at those hotels or those private clubs. So yeah, there could be a mixture of the two. Yeah, Christy says he has made such a fool of himself as well as her. She's removed all doubt. That's right. Exactly. Yep. Well, guys, I think we're probably going to wrap up this live. I can't believe we've been talking for over an hour. I just wanted to get on here and do a quick little chat with you guys because I miss talking to y'all. And I just wanted to thank you guys again for all of your love and support that you've given to me and my family. We really appreciate it. And my dad really enjoyed all of you guys. He did enjoy the channel and he really liked his fan club. And we have all the letters and the really kind cards and the little gifts that y'all made for my dad. We really appreciate that. And I have them all saved. So just thank y'all so much for being here for me. Now look for a new video. I do have a video coming out tonight in a couple of hours. So I hope y'all will go and watch it. And I have some other videos that I'm going to work on as well. I know I'm a little bit behind on the royal news, but I hope y'all will support me and will watch it. And I am working on another video for my other channel, you guys. I know I keep saying that, but I really, really am. And so I'll let y'all know when it comes out. Thank you, MMC. I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Lizzie. I really appreciate everyone being here. I know it was kind of a last minute live, but I just wanted to do something a little different. And in the future, I might do a Sunday morning live. If you guys would like to do lives on Sunday mornings, leave it in the comments. Let me know. Oh, thank you so much, baby. Grandma says never misses a video. I appreciate that. But I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys and tell y'all thank y'all so much. And look forward to that video tonight, guys. It's coming out. And of course, y'all can always send me an email if you have any questions or video ideas, or always leave me a comment in my videos. I always like to hear and see what you guys think. My other channel is Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. She's amazing. She just put it there in the chat here. Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion. So if you're interested, I did a video on the affair of the necklace for Marie Antoinette, and the Marie Antoinette show that's on right now, PBS season 2. They're going through that conspiracy theory of the affair of the necklace, and I did a whole video on the affair of the necklace on my second channel, Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion. So hopefully you guys will go and check that out. But thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks for being with me. And look out for a video that will be dropping sometime tonight. Thank you guys so much. Bye.